If you ever see a red bus at 3:33 a.m., whatever you do, don't get on. I wish someone had warned me. And you'll know what not to do. Before all this, my life was so ordinary it hurt. I worked the late shift at a 24-hour diner on the edge of town, the kind of place where the coffee is always burnt and the jukebox only plays songs from before I was born. My nights blurred together in a haze of fluorescent lights, clattering dishes, and the low hum of tired conversation. I'd clock out at 2:45 a.m. every night, without fail. Routine was my religion. I'd walk the same cracked sidewalks home, hands shoved deep in my pockets, counting the streetlights as I passed beneath them. I was a creature of habit, and I liked it that way. Insomnia was my only real companion. Even after a double shift, sleep never came easy. I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to the distant rumble of traffic and the occasional siren slicing through the night. Sometimes, I'd get up and walk just to tire myself out, looping the same blocks until my legs ached. The city at that hour felt empty, like a stage after the actors have left, everything waiting for the next scene to begin. It was on one of those walks that I first noticed the missing person poster. It was taped to a lamppost outside the old laundromat, the paper curling at the edges from the damp. The photo was grainy, a young woman with tired eyes and a forced smile. Last seen, 3:30 a.m., it read. I barely registered it at the time. People go missing in cities all the time, don't they? I kept walking, telling myself it was none of my business. But little things started to feel off. I'd pass the same bus stop every night, even though I'd never seen a bus there after midnight. Sometimes, I'd catch a glimpse of something red in the corner of my eye, a reflection in a shop window, a flash of color in the distance. I told myself it was nothing, just tricks of the light, the way your mind plays games when you're tired. One night, as I was locking up the diner, my coworker Jamie caught me at the door. "You ever hear about the red bus?" she asked, her voice low, almost conspiratorial. I laughed, shaking my head. "What, like a ghost bus? That's just an old story, right?" Jamie shrugged, but her eyes lingered on mine a little too long. "My cousin swears she saw it once. Said it only shows up for people who can't sleep. People who are lost." She trailed off, glancing over her shoulder as if expecting something to be waiting in the shadows. I rolled my eyes, but the word stuck with me. Lost. Was that what I was? I didn't think so. I had a job, a routine, a life such as it was. But that night, as I walked home, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me. The air felt colder, heavier, as if the city itself was holding its breath. I checked my phone. 3:33 a.m. I told myself it was just a coincidence. I thought the stories were just urban legends. I was wrong. Looking back, I can see the cracks forming, the way reality started to bend at the edges. But at the time, I was just another insomniac, trudging home through the dark, completely unaware of what was waiting for me just around the corner. It happened on a Tuesday night, or maybe it was Wednesday morning. Time blurs when you live in the margins. I'd just left the diner, the taste of burnt coffee still clinging to my tongue, my breath fogging in the cold. The city was silent, the kind of silence that feels unnatural, like the world is holding its breath. I walked the same route as always, past the shuttered bakery, the flickering neon of the pawn shop, the empty bus stop that never saw any real traffic after midnight. That's when I saw it. At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. There, idling at the curb, was a bus gleaming red, impossibly bright beneath the sickly yellow streetlights. It hadn't been there a second before. No engine noise, no screech of brakes, just there. The paint was so vivid it almost hurt to look at, like it was lit from within. The windows were tinted, but I could make out shapes moving. Inside, shadows shifting in the dim glow. The air changed. It was subtle at first, a prickling at the back of my neck, a sudden drop in temperature that made my breath come out in thick, white clouds. The hum of the engine was low, almost subsonic, vibrating in my bones more than my ears. The headlights weren't just bright, they felt alive, tracking me as I walked, pinning me in place like a bug under glass. I stopped, heart pounding, every instinct screaming at me to keep moving. But I couldn't. I was rooted to the spot, staring at that impossible bus. The doors hissed open with a sound like a sigh, and for a moment, I thought I saw something move just beyond the threshold, a flicker of movement, a pale hand beckoning. I told myself it was just a city bus, maybe a new route or a late-night detour. But there was no route number, no destination sign, just a blank, black panel above the windshield, swallowing the light. I glanced around, half expecting someone else to be there, but the street was empty. Just me, the bus, and the cold. Then, a figure appeared in the driver's seat. He was tall, impossibly thin, his uniform crisp and spotless. His face was wrung too long, too pale, eyes sunken deep into their sockets. He smiled, and it was the kind of smile that made my skin crawl, all teeth and no warmth. "Going somewhere?" he asked, his voice echoing strangely, as if it came from the bottom of a well. I tried to answer, but my mouth was dry. I'm just walking home." He tilted his head, considering me. "Plenty of room. It's a cold night. Why not ride with us?" His eyes flicked to the empty seats behind him, and for a split second, I thought I saw faces pressed against the glass, faces I recognized from somewhere, but couldn't quite place. Their eyes were wide, pleading, mouths moving in silent screams. A shiver ran down my spine. I took a step back, but the bus seemed to lean toward me, the headlights flaring brighter. The driver's smile widened, impossibly so. "It's not. Every night you get a chance like this," he whispered. I should have walked away, but curiosity is a hell of a drug. I found myself inching closer, drawn by something I couldn't name. My hand hovered near the open door, the warmth of the bus spilling out into the cold night. I could hear the faintest music, a tune I almost recognized, playing just out of reach. Then, something stopped me. Maybe it was the memory of Jamie's warning, or the way the air felt wrong, heavy with the scent of rust and ozone. Maybe it was the way the driver's eyes never blinked, never left mine. Or maybe it was the sudden, sharp pain in my chest, like my heart was trying to claw its way out. I stumbled back, breaking the spell. The driver's smile faded, replaced by something colder, hungrier. The doors hissed shut, and the bus pulled away, gliding down the street without a sound. I watched it go, the red taillights burning into my memory, until it turned a corner and vanished as suddenly as it had appeared. I stood there for a long time, shivering, trying to convince myself it was just exhaustion, just a trick of the light. But deep down, I knew better. Something had changed. The city felt different, as if a door had been left open somewhere, and something was waiting on the other side. After that night, I couldn't let it go. I tried at first. I told myself it was just a weird dream, a hallucination brought on by too many sleepless nights and too much caffeine. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw that red bus idling at the curb, the driver's smile stretching wider and wider, the faces in the windows silently screaming. I started taking different routes home, but it didn't help. The city felt smaller, the shadows longer, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. I became obsessed. I started searching for answers, desperate to prove to myself that I wasn't losing my mind. I scoured the internet for anything about a red bus at 3:33 a.m. At first, all I found were jokes and urban legends, creepypasta threads, Reddit posts, a handful of blurry photos that could have been anything. But the more I dug, the more I found. There were patterns, if you knew where to look. Stories that started the same way. A late-night walk, a flash of red, a bus that shouldn't exist. I found a forum called the 333 Club. It was buried deep, the kind of place you only find if you're really looking. The members called themselves Red Bus Truthers, half joking, half serious. They shared stories, warnings, and cryptic advice. Most of it sounded like nonsense. Don't look the driver in the eyes, never sit in the back row, always carry exact change. But some of the posts felt different. Raw, desperate, like confessions. One thread caught my eye. "If you see the bus, run." The original poster, someone calling themselves Nightrider 33, described seeing the bus 3 nights in a row. The first time, they ignored it. The second time, they took a photo only to find the image corrupted, the bus a smear of red static. The third time, they tried to board. The post ended abruptly, mid-sentence. The replies were a mix of memes, sympathy, and warnings. Don't get on. No matter what. I started reaching out to people who claimed to have seen the bus. Most ignored me, or sent back cryptic replies, inside jokes about punching your ticket or missing your stop. But one person, Lila_insomniac, agreed to chat. We messaged late at night, both of us unable to sleep. You really saw it? I typed, my hands shaking. Her reply came almost instantly. Yeah, twice. First time I ran. Second time I almost got on. That's when I started seeing things. What kind of things? She hesitated. Shadows that don't belong. Faces in reflections. Sometimes I hear the engine, even when I'm alone. It's like the bus is waiting. I tried to laugh it off. Sounds like a bad trip. She didn't laugh. It's not a joke. There are things the survivors won't say in public. Things you only learn if you see the bus. Yourself. I pressed her for more, but she went silent. When she finally replied, her tone had changed. Listen, if you see it again, don't get on. No matter what. Some people don't come back. And the ones who do, they're not the same. I stared at the screen, heart pounding. I wanted to believe it was all just a game, a shared delusion among insomniacs and night owls. But the fear in her words felt real. Too real. I started noticing other things. The missing person posters multiplied, new faces appearing every week. I found old news clippings about unexplained disappearances, always late at night, always near bus stops. The details were vague, but the pattern was there if you looked hard enough. I even found a police report from the 90s, describing a phantom bus seen by multiple witnesses, all of whom later recanted or disappeared themselves. My rational mind fought back. I told myself it was just confirmation bias, that I was seeing patterns where none existed. But the paranoia grew. I started sleeping with the lights on, jumping at every engine rumble outside my window. I stopped telling Jamie about it. She'd started looking at me like I was crazy. Maybe I was, but I couldn't stop. I needed to know the truth, even if it meant losing my grip on reality. I started setting alarms for 3:30 a.m., forcing myself to walk the same route, dreading that I'd see the bus again. Each night, the city felt emptier, the silence heavier. I felt like I was walking through a dream or a memory that wasn't mine. Then, one night, I found a note slipped under my door. No name, no signature, just a single sentence, written in shaky, desperate handwriting. Don't get on. No matter what. That was when I knew. This wasn't just a story. It was a warning. And I was already in too deep to turn back. It was raining the night I finally boarded the bus. Not a gentle drizzle, but a relentless, icy downpour that turned the streets into rivers and made the city's neon bleed into the gutters. I'd been walking for hours, soaked to the bone, my mind a tangle of exhaustion and dread. I told myself I was just out for air, but the truth was, I was looking for it. I wanted answers, or maybe I just wanted the nightmare to end. The city was empty, the kind of empty that feels wrong, like everyone else had gotten the memo to stay inside. My footsteps echoed off the wet pavement, the only sound in a world gone silent. I passed the same bus stop as always, the one I'd avoided for weeks, and there it was waiting for me. The red bus, gleaming, impossibly clean despite the rain, its paint shining like fresh blood under the streetlights. The headlights cut through the darkness, pinning me in place. The engine purred, low and hungry, vibrating in my chest. The doors hissed open, spilling warm, golden light onto the slick sidewalk. I hesitated, every instinct screaming at me to run. But I couldn't. I was tired of running. I stepped forward, the reins suddenly forgotten, and climbed the steps. The driver was waiting, just as I remembered, tall, thin, his uniform immaculate, his face stretched into that same unsettling smile. Up close, his skin looked almost waxy, his eyes too dark, too deep. He regarded me with a kind of amused curiosity. You sure you want to ride tonight? His voice was soft, but it echoed in the confined space, bouncing off the metal and glass. I swallowed, my throat tight. I don't know. He chuckled, a sound that made my skin crawl. Most people don't. But you're here, aren't you? He gestured to the rows of seats behind him. Plenty of room. Take your pick. I moved past him, my shoes squeaking on the rubber floor. The interior of the bus was wrong. It looked normal at first, rows of faded seats, overhead lights flickering, but the further I walked, the more it twisted. The aisles seemed to stretch, the seats multiplying, the windows warping into impossible shapes. The air was thick, heavy with the scent of rust, and something sweeter, almost like rotting fruit. I glanced at the passengers. At first, they looked like ordinary people, businessmen in wrinkled suits, an old woman clutching a shopping bag, a teenager hunched over a phone. But as I looked closer, I saw the truth. Their faces were wrong, blurred at the edges, their eyes too wide, too bright. Some of them had mouths that didn't close, teeth too sharp, skin that shimmered like oil on water. One man's hands were folded in his lap, but he had too many fingers, each one twitching independently. I kept moving, heart pounding, until I found an empty seat halfway down the aisle. I sat, the vinyl cold and sticky beneath me. The bus doors slammed shut with a finality that made me flinch. Outside, the world seemed to warp. The rain froze in midair, droplets suspended like glass beads. The city lights stretched and twisted, colors bleeding together in impossible patterns. I pressed my face to the window, but the street I knew was gone. In its place was a landscape of shifting shadows and flickering lights, buildings bending at impossible angles, the sky a swirling mass of red and black. I turned away, trying to steady my breathing. That's when I saw them, faces I recognized. People from the missing posters, people I'd seen in news clippings and online forums. There was the girl from the laundromat poster, her eyes hollow, her mouth moving in a silent plea. There was Knight Rider 33, his face half melted, his hands pressed against the glass as if trying to escape. They didn't look right. None of them did. Their features flickered, shifting between familiar and monstrous, as if the bus couldn't decide what they were supposed to be. A woman across the aisle leaned toward me, her voice a harsh whisper. "Don't talk to the driver. Don't look out the back window. And whatever you do, don't answer if someone calls your name." I nodded, too afraid to speak. The other passengers watched me with hungry, desperate eyes. Some of them smiled, their mouths stretching too wide, their teeth glinting in the flickering light. The bus lurched forward, the engine roaring. The world outside spun, colors and shapes blending into a nightmare kaleidoscope. I gripped the seat in front of me, knuckles white, trying to hold on to something real. The driver's voice crackled over the intercom, distorted and echoing. "Next stop, wherever you're meant to be." I closed my eyes, wishing I could wake up, wishing I'd never gotten on. But it was too late. The doors were shut, the world outside was gone, and the only way out was through. I should have listened to the warnings. I should have walked away. But curiosity is a hell of a drug. And now, I was trapped, just another passenger on the red bus, hurtling toward a destination I couldn't even imagine. The bus rumbled forward, and with every shudder of its frame, reality seemed to slip further away. I tried to focus on the familiar, the sticky vinyl seat, the metal pole cold beneath my hand, but the world outside the windows was a fever dream. The city I knew was gone, replaced by a landscape that made no sense. Buildings twisted into spirals, streetlights floating in midair, rivers of red light flowing uphill. Sometimes, I'd catch glimpses of places I recognized: a corner store, a playground, the diner where I worked, but they were wrong, stretched and warped, as if someone had tried to recreate them from memory and failed. The other passengers shifted in their seats, their movements jerky and unnatural. Some stared straight ahead, lips moving in silent prayers or curses. Others watched me, their eyes too bright, too hungry. I tried not to look at them, but it was impossible not to feel their attention, like a weight pressing down on my chest. A man in a tattered suit slid into the seat beside me. His skin was gray, almost translucent, and his fingers drummed a nervous rhythm on his knee. First time he asked, his voice a rasp. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. He leaned closer, breath sour and cold. "There are rules on the bus," he whispered. "Break them, and you'll never leave." I swallowed hard. "What rules?" He smiled, lips cracking. "Don't talk to the driver unless he talks to you. Don't sit in the back row. Don't answer if someone calls your name. And never, ever look out the back window. I tried to laugh, but it came out as a choked gasp. What happens if you do? He shook his head, eyes darting to the front of the bus. No one knows. Or if they do, they don't come back to tell. The bus jolted, and the lights flickered. For a moment, everything went dark. When the lights came back, the man was gone. In his place was a little girl, her hair in pigtails, her dress stained and torn. She stared at me with wide, unblinking eyes. "Are you lost?" she asked, her voice too old for her face. I opened my mouth, but before I could answer, she vanished, replaced by a hunched old woman muttering to herself. The bus was shifting, cycling through passengers like a deck of cards. Each time I blinked, the faces changed, sometimes familiar, sometimes monstrous. I pressed my forehead to the window, desperate for something real. Outside, the world was a nightmare. The sky pulsed with veins of red and black, and the ground writhed like a living thing. I saw shadows moving in the distance, tall, thin figures with too many limbs, crawling over the ruins of the city. Sometimes, the bus would pass through a tunnel of darkness, and I'd feel something brush against the glass, leaving streaks of black ichor that faded as soon as I looked away. I tried to remind myself that this couldn't be real. I'd read stories like this before on forums, in late-night YouTube videos, always told with a wink and a nudge, as if the horror was just a game. I used to laugh at those narrators, their dramatic pauses and ominous warnings. I thought they were exaggerating, playing it up for clicks. But sitting there, surrounded by impossible things, I realized they hadn't been exaggerating at all. If anything, they'd been holding back. A woman in a business suit leaned across the aisle, her eyes sunken and rimmed with red. "You can't get off until it's your stop," she said, her voice flat. "Don't try. The bus doesn't like it." I nodded, clutching the seat in front of me. "How do I know when it's my stop?" she smiled. And her teeth were too many, too sharp. "You'll know, or you won't. Either way, you'll get off eventually." The bus lurched again, and the world outside shifted. Now we were driving through a forest of dead trees, their branches clawing at the windows. Faces appeared in the bark, mouths open in silent screams. I closed my eyes, but the images burned behind my eyelids. The passengers began to whisper, their voices overlapping in a cacophony of secrets and warnings. "Don't fall asleep. Don't eat the food. Don't trust the driver. Don't trust anyone." I tried to tune them out, but their words wormed into my mind, planting seeds of doubt and fear. I glanced at my reflection in the window, hoping to see something familiar, something human. But my face was wrong, blurred at the edges, my eyes too dark, my mouth twisted into a grimace I didn't recognize. A hand touched my shoulder, and I jumped. It was the old woman, her fingers cold and bony. "You're not supposed to be here," she whispered. "You're not lost enough." I tried to pull away, but her grip tightened. "You have to find your stop, before it finds you." The lights flickered again, and she was gone. In her place was a man in a hoodie, his face hidden in shadow. He leaned in close, his breath hot against my ear. "Some of us have been riding for years," he said. "We can't remember where we got on. We can't remember our names. The bus takes things from you, little by little." I shivered, pulling my jacket tighter around me. "Why me?" I whispered. He laughed, a hollow, broken sound. "Why anyone? Maybe you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe you were looking for something you shouldn't have found." The bus slowed, and for a moment, I thought we were stopping. But outside, there was nothing, just endless darkness, punctuated by flashes of red light. The driver's voice crackled over the intercom. "Next stop, nowhere." The passengers tensed, some pressing their faces to the windows, others shrinking into their seats. I felt a surge of panic, a desperate urge to run, but there was nowhere to go. The aisle stretched on forever, the doors sealed tight. I tried to remember who I was, where I was going, but the memories slipped through my fingers like water. I clung to the few things I could recall: my name, my job, the diner, Jamie's warning. But even those felt distant, unreal. The bus began to pick up speed, the world outside blurring into a smear of color and light. The passengers started to chant, their voices rising in a discordant hymn. "Don't look back! Don't look back!" Don't look back. I squeezed my eyes shut, willing it all to end. When I opened them again, I caught my reflection in the window. My face was changing, my eyes too wide, my mouth stretched into a silent scream. I reached up, touching my cheek, but the glass was cold and unyielding. I realized, with a jolt of terror, that I was starting to look like the other passengers. The bus was taking something from me, piece by piece, and I didn't know if I'd ever get it back. The bus rolled on, and with every mile, the world outside grew more abstract, more impossible. The city was gone, replaced by a shifting landscape of memories and nightmares, places I'd half forgotten, faces I'd tried to erase. I saw the diner, empty and flickering, the missing posters plastered over every window. I saw Jamie, standing in the rain, her face blurred and unreadable. I saw myself, reflected in every surface, growing less human with each passing second. The passengers had grown silent, their eyes fixed on the floor, as if waiting for something. The air was thick with anticipation, a pressure building in my chest until I thought I might burst. Then, the bus slowed, the engine's growl fading to a low, expectant hum. The lights dimmed, and the driver rose from his seat, turning to face us for the first time. He moved with unnatural grace, his limbs too long, his smile too wide. His eyes found mine, and I felt a cold certainty settle over me. He'd been waiting for this moment. Curiosity, he said, his voice echoing through the bus, is a powerful thing. It's what brings most of you here. The lost, the restless, the ones who can't leave well enough alone. He walked down the aisle, his footsteps silent, pausing beside each passenger. Some flinched away, others stared up at him with hollow eyes. Everyone rides the red bus eventually, he continued, his gaze never leaving mine. Some just get off sooner than others. Some never get off at all. He stopped beside me, his hand resting lightly on my shoulder. I felt a chill seep into my bones, a weight pressing down on my soul. You wanted to know the truth. You wanted to see what was waiting in the dark. Now you do. Images flashed through my mind, other riders, other nights. A woman in a yellow raincoat, clutching a photograph to her chest. A man in a business suit, weeping silently as the bus sped through a city of shadows. A child, no older than 6, staring out the window at a world that no longer made sense. Each of them had boarded the bus. Each of them had paid the price for their curiosity. I saw glimpses of something larger, a network of red buses crisscrossing the world, slipping through cracks in reality. I saw drivers with faces like masks, collecting passengers from every city, every forgotten corner. I saw the rules, written in blood and shadow, binding us all to this endless journey. There's one way off the bus, the driver whispered, his breath cold against my ear. But you won't like it. I looked around, desperate for an escape. The other passengers watched me, their eyes filled with a mixture of pity and hunger. Some of them shook their heads, silently urging me to stay. Others smiled, their teeth sharp and eager. I thought of everything I'd left behind: the diner, Jamie, the life I'd taken for granted. I thought of the comfort of ignorance, the safety of not knowing. But it was too late for that now. I'd seen too much, learned too much. The price of curiosity was written in every line of my changing face. The driver knelt beside me, his eyes boring into mine. You can stay, he said softly, and become one of us. Or you can pay the price and leave. But know this: once you leave, you'll never be the same. The bus will always be waiting, just out of sight, just out of reach. He held out his hand, palm up, and I saw something glinting in the dim light: a ticket, red as blood, with my name written across it in jagged script. The choice hung in the air, heavy and final. Stay and lose myself forever, or pay the price and carry the burden of what I'd learned for the rest of my life. I reached for the ticket, my hand trembling, and the bus seemed to hold its breath, waiting for my decision. My fingers closed around the ticket, and the world seemed to tilt. The bus shuddered, lights flickering, the engine's hum rising to a fever pitch. I felt the weight of every warning, every whispered rule, pressing down on me. I remembered what the man in the tattered suit had said: break the rules, and you'll never leave. But I couldn't stay. I couldn't let myself become another hollow-eyed passenger, another face lost to the red bus. I bolted from my seat, the ticket burning in my palm. The aisle stretched before me, impossibly long, the rows of seats multiplying, twisting, folding in on themselves. The passengers turned as one, their faces melting and reforming, mouths opening in silent screams. Hands reached for me, fingers too long, nails scraping at my clothes. I shoved past them, heart pounding, breath ragged. The bus warped around me, corridors branching off at impossible angles, doors leading. Nowhere. I ran, the floor shifting beneath my feet, the walls pulsing with a sickly red light. Every step felt heavier, as if the bus itself was trying to drag me back. I heard the driver's voice, calm and cold, echoing through the chaos. "You can't leave. Not without paying the price." I stumbled into the front of the bus, the driver waiting for me, his smile gone, replaced by something ancient and hungry. "You think you're different," he hissed. "You think you can just walk away." I held up the ticket, my voice shaking. "You said there's a way out. I'm taking it." He laughed, a sound that rattled the windows. "There's always a price. Are you sure you're willing to pay?" Behind him, the doors yawned open, revealing a darkness deeper than night. I hesitated, fear clawing at my throat. But I stepped forward, clutching the ticket, refusing to look back. As I crossed the threshold, the world exploded in light and sound. I fell, tumbling through memories and nightmares, faces and places flashing past me in a blur. I heard the passengers chanting, the driver's laughter, the roar of the engine. Then, silence. I woke on the sidewalk, rain pounding against my skin, the city around me eerily still. The bus was gone, the street empty. I staggered to my feet, heart racing, every muscle aching. For a moment, I thought I'd imagined it all. But then I saw the ticket in my hand, the letters of my name already fading. I looked around, searching for something familiar, but the world felt wrong. The colors were too bright, the shadows too deep. People passed me on the street, their faces blurred, their eyes sliding past me as if I didn't exist. I caught my reflection in a shop window and recoiled. My face was almost normal, but not quite. My eyes were too dark, my smile too sharp. I made it out. Or at least, I think I did. But something followed me. I see the bus sometimes, just out of the corner of my eye, a flash of red at the end of the block, headlights burning in the fog. I hear the engine. At night, rumbling beneath my window, calling me back. If you see the red bus at 3:33 a.m., you'll know me. I'll be watching from the window, waiting for the next curious soul to take my place. Because the bus never really lets you go. It just waits, patient and hungry, for the next ride. Life after the bus isn't really life at all. It's a waking dream, a constant state of looking over my shoulder, waiting for the engine's growl to echo through the night. I see red buses everywhere now, on TV, in old photos, reflected in puddles and windows. Sometimes I'll blink and they're gone, but sometimes they linger, idling at the edge of my vision, doors half open, waiting. Sleep is a luxury I no longer have. When I do drift off, I'm back on that bus, the aisle stretching forever, the faces around me melting and reforming. I wake up gasping, heart pounding, the taste of rust and ozone thick in my mouth. I keep the lights on, but it doesn't help. The shadows are always there, shifting, whispering, promising that the ride isn't over. I know some of you are listening, thinking this is just another story, another creepypasta to pass the time. Maybe you're scrolling through the comments, looking for clues, piecing together theories with the other night owls and insomniacs. Maybe you've heard stories like this before, maybe you've even shared your own. But this isn't a story. It's a warning. If you're hearing this, it's not too late. But don't look for the bus. Don't try to find me. There are things I can't say here. Things that only make sense if you've seen the bus yourself. If you have, you already know. You know the rules, the faces, the way the world never quite fits right again. Some of you will ignore this. You'll chase the thrill, the mystery, the forbidden knowledge. You'll tell yourself it's just a game, just a story. But I'm telling you, if you see a red bus at 3:33 a.m., don't get on. Not everyone gets a second chance. And if you do, you might find me staring back at you from the window, waiting for the next stop. So, have you seen the red bus? If you have, or if you think you have, share your story in the comments. Maybe you've caught a glimpse at 3:33 a.m., or maybe you've heard the engines hum when you should have been alone. I want to hear your theories, your warnings, your own midnight encounters. The 333 Club is always watching, and you never know who else might be reading. If you've been around for a while, you know this isn't the first strange case we've covered. Remember the smiling man, the elevator ritual, the whispers about the back row? Every story is a piece of something bigger, and every comment adds to the legend. There are more stories out there. Some of them are yours. So stay curious, but not too curious. And whatever you do, don't get on the red bus.